Okay, so welcome to the second part of the ENT. So if you have not seen the first part, please find it in the same playlist. You will be finding this part one in the same playlist. Just find it and complete it. So here we had done like up to 74. Now that is battle sign is due to. Okay, the next is a 60-year-old diabetic patient has presented with severe earache and blood stained ear discharge. The examination shows granulations in the external auditory canal. What is the possible diagnosis? History of diabetic patient is diabetic or immunocompromised patient. I have already told you in the last lecture. ठीक है कि history of diabetic patient is given here, presented with severe ear pain, that is earache, and blood stained ear discharge. So this is going towards malignant otitis externa, that is generally due to P. aeruginosa, that is Pseudomonas aeruginosa, which generally affects people with diabetic and other immunocompromised states. So here answer will be malignant otitis externa. Let's see a little bit more about this malignant otitis externa. Very important points related to this malignant otitis externa. The first one is it is also called as skull base osteomyelitis. This malignant otitis externa is also called as skull base osteomyelitis. The causative agent is Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Infections in diabetics and immunocompromised. So the buzzword will be diabetic person or the immunocompromised person will be given in the questions. It behaves as a malignancy, but it is not a proper malignancy. Name is malignant otitis externa, but it is not a proper malignancy. So it is a misnomer here. Clinical feature will be severe ear pain and granulations in ear canal with or without facial paralysis. Anti-pseudomonal antibiotics like ceftazidime should be given systemically, and surgical debridement needs to be done later if required. But medical management में ceftazidime can be given, that is anti-pseudomonal antibiotics. Gallium 67 scan shows soft tissue involvement, and technetium 99 scan shows bony damage, in this case malignant otitis externa. Very important, 1 2 3 4 5 points. और क्वेश्चन जितने भी बनेंगे ऑल द क्वेश्चन शुड बी मेड फ्रॉम दिस 5 points मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स. ठीक है, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स द क्वेश्चन शुड बी मेड फ्रॉम दिस 5 points only. Next, let us move ahead. That is a 25-year-old female presented with complaints of decreased hearing, that is CHL, and pulsatile tinnitus. Conductive hearing loss and pulsatile tinnitus है, decreased hearing है. On examination, the tympanic membrane appeared red and bulging. What would be the diagnosis? So the tympanic membrane is appearing red and bulging. So let us see a little bit about the glomus tumor here. The diagnosis is going towards glomus tumor. How it is going towards glomus tumor? I'll tell you. Look, the most common benign neoplasm of the middle ear is glomus tumor. It is locally invasive and highly vascular. That's why red and bulging it appears. Glomus jugulare arises from the glomus cells lying around the jugular bulb, compresses 9th to 12th cranial nerves, and mostly seen in the females. If we talk about the glomus tympanicum, it arises from the promontory. Oral symptoms are generally present here. Symptoms like hearing loss and tinnitus, that is pulsatile swishing synchronous with pulse. ये pulsatile tinnitus अगर समझ रहे हो, if it is giving in question pulsatile tinnitus, then it is going towards your glomus tumor pulsatile tinnitus. ठीक है, pulsatile tinnitus. Rising sunshine, that is red reflex through intact tympanic membrane seen in glomus jugulare. Pulsation sign or brown sign, tumor pulsates vigorously and blanches when ear canal pressure raised by Siegel's speculum. Equino sign, that is blanching of the mass with manual compression of the ipsilateral carotid artery. Rule of 10, that is 10% familial, 10% multicentric, and 10% functional. Next is never do a biopsy in case of glomus tumor. The very important point, never do a generally biopsy. Which of the following is the false statement regarding a glomus tumor? वहाँ पे दिया होगा. Then the options will be like use biopsy or do biopsy. That will be the false option there. So very important. Just remember, never do a biopsy in case of glomus tumor. CT or MRI, generally CT shows flip signs है ना, flip sign. Alteration of cortico jugular spine, which is a bony spine between the carotid artery and jugular bulb. MRI shows salt and pepper appearance. Salt and pepper appearance और कहाँ दिखता है? Just confirm it with the radiology lecture है ना. जो radiology lecture I have already completed it just 1 or 2 days before. वहाँ पे सारे radiology lecture है, just see it once again. Angiography can be done to know the feeding vessel. Most common is inferior tympanic branch of the ascending pharyngeal artery, and treatment options are surgery, radiation, and embolization. So this is glomus tumor. So this is going towards glomus tumor. ठीक है, pulsatile tinnitus very important glomus tumor के लिए. bone anchored hearing aid is used in which of the following condition? So bone anchored hearing aid, that is nothing but baha करके दिया होगा क्वेश्चन में, BAHA. So this is generally used for congenital external auditory atresia. External auditory atresia, so generally we will use a generally bone anchored hearing aid, and that is generally in case of congenital external auditory atresia. In the treatment of the auditory canal atresia, BAHA provides generally superior hearing results, greater parental satisfaction, and fewer complications. Bone anchored hearing aid is a type of hearing aid which is based on the principle of bone conduction. ठीक है, bone conduction of the sound. It is primarily suited to people who have conductive hearing loss, unilateral hearing loss, and those with mixed hearing loss. So these are generally the indications of the BAHA. ठीक है, BAHA very important. आगे देखो, a patient presented with pain around the mastoid and positive reservoir sign, very important, positive reservoir sign, pain around the mastoid. So generally this is due to the inflammation of the mastoid, and the condition is called as mastoiditis. ठीक है, mastoiditis. So what is mastoiditis? Most likely diagnosis पूछ रहा है, so this is mastoiditis. What is mastoiditis? Let's see a little bit about mastoiditis. It is due to group A beta hemolytic streptococcus, which is the most common causative organism in case of mastoiditis. Persistent pain and fever, purulent discharge is seen. Ironing of the mastoid surface, that is a smooth and shiny look, that is the first sign that appears in the case of mastoiditis. Mastoid tenderness is present there. On otoscopy, lighthouse sign and sagging of posterior meatal wall is seen. Lighthouse sign and generally sagging of posterior meatal wall is seen on otoscopy, and positive reservoir sign present, that is the canal gets filled with discharge immediately after the cleaning. After you clean, just immediately after the cleaning, the canal will get filled with the discharge. This is positive reservoir sign present. The next is treatment includes hospitalization with IV antibiotics and myringotomy, cortical mastoidectomy, that is Schwartz positive, and generally if not, Schwartz is generally done, cortical mastoidectomy, and if not treated promptly, abscess can develop. All of the following is true about Meniere's disease. Meniere's disease में everything is true except destroying the cochlear is mandatory. It is not mandatory. ठीक है, it is not mandatory. Upon examination of oral cavity, there were pulsations felt at the tonsillar area. Pulsations were felt at the tonsillar area. A patient presented with the pulsations of the tonsil. The cause of this pulsation of the tonsil is generally internal carotid artery aneurysm. Internal carotid artery aneurysm, because whenever you palpate the tonsil with the gloved fingers, if there is hard mass, that is going towards malignancy or tonsillolith, है ना, tonsillolith. And if you are feeling the pulsations, it is the case of internal carotid artery aneurysm. दो चीजें आपको याद रखनी है, two things you have to remember whenever you pulse the tonsil with the gloved fingers. When you palpate the tonsil with the gloved finger, generally if you feel a hard mass there, that is going towards malignancy or tonsillolith may be there. And if you are feeling the pulsations, that is generally the case of ICA aneurysm. और यही चीज हमको पूछा है, so that is ICA aneurysm. A patient presented with profound sensory neural deafness, not responding to hearing aids, with intact auditory nerve function. Which of the following procedure is preferred in this patient? यहाँ पे क्या है, प्रोफाउंड सेंसरी न्यूरल डिफनेस है, नॉट रिस्पॉन्डिंग टू हियरिंग एड्स, इंटैक्ट ऑडिटरी नर्व फंक्शन है. सो हेयर विल गो विथ कॉक्लियर इम्प्लांट, बिकॉज द इंडिकेशंस ऑफ जनरली कॉक्लियर इम्प्लांट, इफ यू हैव read, that is profound or severe bilateral sensory neural hearing loss and intact auditory nerve system. If it is intact, then we will go for cochlear implant. Mainstay of treatment of glue ear, so that is nothing but myringotomy plus grome insertions. ठीक है, grome insertion and myringotomy is the mainstay of the treatment in case of glue ear. Nasal decongestants and antibiotic can be used as an initial management in this case. And this myringotomy plus grome insertions in posterior inferior quadrant of the tympanic membrane. It is done in the posterior inferior quadrant of the tympanic membrane, where the grome is generally inserted. Most common cause of facial nerve palsy. Facial nerve palsy में most common cause will be idiopathic Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy is very important here. फ्लैमिंगो पिंक अपीयरेंस, जस्ट अबव ऊपर आपने देखा था स्वाट साइन है ना, सो फ्लैमिंगो पिंक अपीयरेंस, दैट इज द स्वाट साइन ऑफ tympanic membrane is seen in the case of otosclerosis. Look, this flamingo pink hue is here, reddish hue is seen. This is generally the SWOT sign seen in the case of otosclerosis. I have already described this slide already in the last lecture. ear pain, tinnitus and vertigo along with feeling of blocked ear is a feature of blocked ear. देखो tinnitus and vertigo दो चीजें समझ के मेनी ईयर्स में नहीं लगा देना. So this is generally Costin syndrome. So this is Costin syndrome. Costin syndrome is generally the abnormality of the temporomandibular joint characterized by otalgia, blocked ear, tinnitus and often vertigo. So these are generally going towards Costin syndrome. ठीक है, this is going towards Costin syndrome. Look, in many years disease generally look कॉज केसेज आइडियोपैथिक मोस्ट कॉमन केसेस क्या होंगे, आइडियोपैथिक होगा, वायरल, ऑटो इम्यून और हाइपोथायरॉइडिज्म दैट इज मेनियस सिंड्रोम, इसको हम बोलते हैं हाइपरथिंडम. ठीक है. सिम्टम्स वर्टाइगो, ऑरल फुलनेस, सेंसरी न्यूरल हियरिंग लॉस, फ्लक्चुएटिंग टाइनिटस, बीएएसटी. नेक्स्ट लीरोमोइड सिंड्रोम. लेरमोइड सिंड्रोम क्या है, सिम्टम्स इन रिवर्स ऑर्डर दैट इज एसएनएचएल फर्स्ट एंड देन वर्टाइगो अपीयर्स. इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द टूलियो फिनोमिनन, साउंड इंड्यूस्ड वर्टाइगो दैट इज ड्यू टू द डिस्टेंडेड सैक्यूल lying near to foot plate. Diplacusis, that is here same sound as two different sounds, same as diplopia in case of eye. Otoscopy, intact tympanic membrane, nystagmus only during attacks. Tuning fork test में low frequencies involved, upsloping initially. Electrocochleography gold standard है, SP by AP is greater than 30%. Recruitment positive, SI score very high and treatment is vestibular sedatives, prochlorperazine, vasodilators like beta histine and diuretics like furosemides can be used in Meniere's disease. So यहाँ पे Meniere's disease तो ऑप्शन में नहीं है, बट उसी रिलेटेड क्या है, कॉस्टिन सिंड्रोम. ठीक है, कॉस्टिन सिंड्रोम, ब्लॉक डियर इज ऑल्सो फीचर है. सो दिस इज ग्राडिनियो को मैं ऑलरेडी आपको बता चुका हूँ, लेरमोइज भी मैं आपको बता चुका हूँ. A patient presents with symptoms of facial nerve palsy and bulla on tympanic membrane and meatus. Possible diagnosis. Patient presents with symptoms of facial nerve palsy and bulla on the tympanic membrane and meatus. This is going towards क्या क्या, देखो फेशियल नर्व पाल्सी भी है, बुला ऑन टिम्पैनिक मेम्ब्रेन है एंड मिएटस पे भी जनरली बुला है. सो दिस इज रैमसे हंट सिंड्रोम. लुक, व्हाट इज रैमसे हंट सिंड्रोम? इन अदर वर्ड्स, रैमसे हंट सिंड्रोम इज आल्सो कॉल्ड एज हर्पस जुस्टर ओटिकस और सिंपली herpes zoster oticus को ही हम in other words we call it as Ramsay Hunt syndrome. It is a viral infection characterized by vesicles on tympanic membrane and meatal skin, concha and postauricular groove. It appears as rash of small tense blisters with surrounding erythema preceded by pain in the ears for several days. Can be associated with facial nerve palsy, sensory neural hearing loss and vestibular disturbance. So this is Ramsay Hunt syndrome. यहाँ देखो vesicles यहाँ पे दिख रहा है, malignant, this is malignant otitis externa and this is keratosis obturans. So just know the difference between all these things. So this is generally Ramsay Hunt syndrome. Granulomatous lesions in generally tympanic membrane and middle ear lateral wall is seen. In granulomatous lesion in tympanic membrane and middle ear lateral wall is seen in case of chronic myelinitis, that is myelinitis granulosa. ठीक है, bullous myelinitis ये क्या है, viral infection of the tympanic membrane, multiple vesicles on tympanic membrane and it is a self-limiting condition. Impaction of the wax is treated by, if the wax is impacted it is treated by softening followed by syringing. पहले उसको सॉफ्ट करेंगे, उसके बाद उसको सिरिंजिंग से बाहर करेंगे. नहीं तो जनरली इफ वी डोंट generally soften it, it will cause bleeding. अगर ऐसे खींचेंगे तो it will cause bleeding. In tympanic membrane perforation, graft is taken from temporalis muscle fascia. What type of graft is this? In tympanic membrane perforation, the graft is taken from the temporalis muscle fascia. What type of graft is this? This is from the same body, that is autograft. Autograft आपको पता है, autograft, xenograft, allograft and isograft. This is very important in माइक्रोबायो एंड आवर माइक्रोबायो में भी पढ़ते हैं, पीएसएम में भी पढ़ते हैं. सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट दिस इज इन पैथोलॉजी. नेक्स्ट, नॉर्मल हियरिंग रेंज. नॉर्मल हियरिंग रेंज इज जनरली 20 to 20,000 हर्ट्ज और 20 to 20 किलो हर्ट्ज. According to WHO, moderate hearing loss is defined as, moderate hearing loss is generally 41 to 60 decibel and 30 to 40 decibel is the mild generally hearing loss. Meningitis bullosa is commonly caused by, it is caused by virus, that is adenovirus. Acute otitis media is most commonly caused by, acute otitis media is most commonly caused by streptococcus pneumonia. Acute otitis media, streptococcus pneumonia, it is the most common, and haemophilus influenza is the second most common cause of the generally acute otitis media. All are extracranial complications of chronic otitis media except lateral sinus thrombophlebitis, which is generally the intracranial complication, and ossicular damage, petrositis and Grade-Nigo syndrome, they all are the extracranial complications. Most common intracranial manifestations of the late chronic otitis media is generally brain abscess. Most common intracranial manifestation of late chronic otitis media. Most common extracranial complication of CSOM, that is mastoiditis. ऊपर हमने पढ़ा था mastoiditis क्या है. Most common type of hearing loss in TB otitis media. TB otitis media is conductive hearing loss. Which one of the following is classical sign of tubercular otitis media? So that is multiple perforation of the pars tensa. Malignant otitis externa affects which cranial nerve? Which cranial nerve is generally affected by malignant otitis externa? That is 7th cranial nerve. Carhart's notch deep sat, that is 2000 hertz, and that is giving the diagnosis of what? Otosclerosis. Which of the following is earliest and consistent symptom of glomus tumor? Glomus tumor के लिए tinnitus, that is also pulsatile tinnitus. ठीक है, pulsatile tinnitus. Henneberg sign is seen in. Henneberg sign is generally seen in Meniere's disease. Henneberg sign is seen in Meniere's disease. एक होता है टुलियो फिनोमेना जो वर्टिगो इन नॉइज होता है, एंड जनरली हेनेबर्ट साइन इज जनरली false positive fistula sign. So this is Henneberg sign in Meniere's disease. In case of BPPV, which semicircular canal is affected? I have already told you in the last part of the video only, that is posterior semicircular canal is most commonly affected here. Referred pain in the ear is commonly from carcinoma of the tongue से referred pain जा सकता है ear में. Trotter striatum consist of all of the following. Trotter striatum में होता क्या क्या है? Palatal paralysis, trigeminal neuralgia and conduction deafness. These three things consist of the trotter striatum. Sensory neural deafness is not the part of the trotter striatum. Which of the following is the most prominent symptom of the acoustic neuroma? That is sensory neural hearing loss. Which one of the following is not a feature of adenoid hypertrophy? That is pinched up nose is not a feature of adenoid hypertrophy. Dull expression, open mouth and crowding of lower tooth, they are generally the main features of the adenoid hypertrophy. Graft used for tympanoplasty. Graft used for tympanoplasty is temporalis fascia. Electrode of cochlear implant is passed by a round window, that is scala tympani. Anatomy of nose and paranasal sinus. Okay, so now we have come to the nose. Anterior ethmoidal sinus drains into. Look, so for this sinus related question, I'll give you 3 lines and everything will be clear. Look, middle meatus receives the drainage of anterior group of sinuses. जितने भी anterior group of sinuses, they all drain into the middle meatus, and they are frontal sinus, maxillary sinus and anterior ethmoidal sinus. If I talk about the superior meatus, it receives the drainage of posterior ethmoidal sinus. So 3 sinus, frontal, maxillary or anterior ethmoidal, it will be draining into generally the middle meatus, whereas the superior meatus will receive the drainage of posterior ethmoidal sinus. So our answer here will be anterior ethmoidal sinus drains into middle meatus. यहाँ पे posterior पूछ देता, posterior ethmoidal sinus drains into, so that will be the answer will be changed into superior meatus. आगे देखो, a 16-year-old female presents with foul smell from nose and nasal obstruction. Foul smelling nose and nasal obstruction. The image shows the following finding. ये देखो, ये वाला फाइंड दिख रहा है, क्रस्ट दिख रहा है नोज में. So this crusting of the nose, this is the case of atrophic rhinitis. Atrophic rhinitis. What is rhinitis sicca? Rhinitis sicca is due to the hot dry climate. Only anterior 1/3 of the nose is affected. Resembles atrophic rhinitis, but posterior part looks normal. Posterior parts look normal. In allergic rhinitis, nasal discharge, sneezing and malobstruction. Nasal obstruction will be there along with itching will also be. So discharge, sneezing and itching, 3 things will be there in allergic rhinitis. If I talk about rhinitis medicamentosa, there will be chronic nasal congestion due to overuse of topical nasal decongestant. ठीक है. So now let us see a little bit more about atrophic rhinitis. कॉजेज के लिए इसमें निमोनिक ऐड करो हर्निया करके. सो हेरिडिटरी कॉज, इंडोक्राइनल कॉज, दैट इज एस्ट्रोजन डेफिशिएंसी, रेशियल, दैट इज व्हाइट एंड येलो पीपल्स हैव मोर दिस टाइप ऑफ जनरली डिजीज, एंड nutritional deficiency, that is vitamin A, D and iron, infective, that is Klebsiella oegina, and autoimmune conditions. Next, atrophy of the nerve elements, that will lead to merciful anosmia, means everybody around that person will feel that generally smell, the bad smell coming from his nose, but he will himself not feel that is called as merciful anosmia. Atrophy of the nasal mucosa, that is pale in appearance, obliterative endarteritis of the arteries, ciliated columnar normal, stratified में change हो जाएगा, and huge crusting will be there which will generally bleed on removal. Turbinate bone resorption, widening of the nasal cavity. The turbinate bone resorption will lead to generally the widening of the nasal cavity in general this atrophic rhinitis. And the next is loss of defense mechanism, cilia and mucous gland secondary infections, and lead to foul smelling discharge due to the bacteria or other things there. Excessive crusting and loss of sensory nerves, nasal obstruction will be there in spite of roomy nasal cavities, and anosmia will be there. Anosmia patient can sense the smell of her own foul discharge, can't sense the smell of her own foul discharge. This is generally merciful anosmia. I have already told you about this. मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट क्या कर सकते हैं? इरिगेशन टू रिमूव क्रस्ट, दैट इज 1% सोडियम बाई borate, that is 1% sodium is to 1% sodium bicarbonate is to 2 sodium chloride teaspoonful powder in 20 ml H2O. 25% glucose in glycerin paint inhibit proteolytic organisms. Chemicetin anti-ogiana, that is chloromycetin and estradiol and vitamin D3 can be used. And estradiol spray, that is increase vascularity, it will increase the vascularity. Whereas placental extract injection locally, streptomycin 1 gram per day into 10 days against Klebsiella organisms, and oral KI for liquefying the secretion. So this is generally the medical management of atrophic rhinitis. और surgical treatment से Young's operation has been asked so many times, that is nostrils completely closed by suturing skin flaps on the both sides, open after 6 months. इतना याद रखना है. Modified Young's operation में it will be partially closed. In Young's operation that will be completely closed, but modified Young operation में it will be partially closed. 3 mm gap will be kept. Lautenschlager's operation, where narrowing the lumen by submucosal Teflon injection or insertion of the fat cartilage bone Teflon strip submucosally or medial displacement of the lateral wall will be done. That is Lautenschlager's operation. Young's वाला बहुत ज़्यादा पूछता है, so remember that Young's वाला. The next question is, the following image shows which X-ray. Look, X-ray beam is here. Theta is equals to 30 degrees. So this is this water view, town view, curled view, or scalar view? Already I have talked about this in the radiology portion. Radiology portion में already I have talked about this, and वहाँ पे मैंने फोटो भी आपको दिखाया था. So let us revise it once again. Water's view में head will be tilted back, chin touching the film. जो फिल्म होगा उस पर चिन टच कर रहा होगा. एंड थीटा विल बी 37 डिग्री. ऑक्सीपिटो मेंटल व्यू भी इसको हम बोलते हैं. नेक्स्ट इज टाउन्स व्यू. टाउन्स व्यू ऑक्सीपिटो फ्रंटल एक्सियल व्यू, चिन विल बी टक्ड डाउन. और यहाँ पे देखो ये जो चिन है ये नीचे टक डाउन हुआ है. सो दिस इज टाउन्स व्यू टू विजुअलाइज फोरामेन मैग्नम एंड द सेला टर्सिका. आगे देखो कार्डुअल व्यू में जनरली दिस इज द ऑक्सीपिटो फ्रंटल व्यू. सेंट्रल रे पैसेज फ्रॉम द ऑक्सीपिट टू फ्रंटल, फोरहेड एंड नोज अगेंस्ट फिल्म, बेस्ट फॉर फ्रंटल साइनसेस. स्कूलर्स व्यू, lateral projections with slide head rotation for mastoid air cell pneumatization. Sinodural angle or Cittelage angle can be measured, which is reducing the sclerosing mastoid disease. So this is Escular's view. So answer here will be Townes view. Which artery is most commonly affected in cases of epistaxis? Epistaxis में generally the artery of epistaxis हम किसको बोलते हैं? That is nothing but sphenopalatine artery, and this is the artery most commonly affected in case of epistaxis, that is bleeding of the nose. What is epistaxis? Bleeding of the nose. The most common site is Little's area. Most common cause in children is nose picking, and in adult is the hypertension. Foreign bodies in nose generally cause unilateral bleeding. Adolescent males with profuse bleeding should be suspected of juvenile nasopharyngeal angiofibroma, that is JNA, and other causes of the epistaxis includes septal spur, patients on anticoagulants, patients on topical steroids, sprays for long duration, granulomatous disease, bleeding disorders like hemophilia, and genetic conditions like hereditary hemorrhagic telangiectasia. याद रखना है sphenopalatine artery, the artery of epistaxis. What is the location of bulla ethmoidalis? Bulla ethmoidalis is the largest anterior ethmoidal air cell. Largest anterior ethmoidal air cell. पर उससे पहले मैं थोड़ा आपको ये I try to give you a little bit of the blood supply of the nose, है ना. The upper half of the septum receives blood supply from the internal carotid artery. जो upper half है that receives from generally the internal carotid artery, and the lower half receives from the external carotid artery. Look, internal carotid artery branch ophthalmic artery, उसमें से दो branch निकलेंगे, anterior and posterior ethmoidal artery. Anterior ethmoidal artery supplies the anterosuperior part of the septum, and posterior ethmoidal artery will be supplying the पोस्टेरो सुपेरियर पार्ट ऑफ द सेप्टम. और एक्सटर्नल कैरोटिड आर्टरी की बात करें तो इट विल हैव द फॉलोइंग ब्रांचेस लाइक फेशियल आर्टरी एंड इंटरनल मैक्सिलरी आर्टरी. फेशियल आर्टरी विल बी सप्लाइंग सुपेरियर लेबियल आर्टरी above the upper lip, and the internal maxillary artery will be supplying greater palatine and sphenopalatine artery. It will divide into greater palatine and sphenopalatine artery, which supplies the posterior inferior part of the septum, and this superior labial artery above the upper lip, it will be supplying the anterior inferior part of the septum. With the exceptions of the posterior posterior ethmoidal artery, the rest of the arteries will form an anastomosis called as Kisselbach's plexus or little area. Any bleeding will cause anterior epistaxis. So you have to just remember PEA, posterior ethmoidal artery. It does not form the part of generally the little area or Kisselbach's plexus, and it will not be involved in generally the epistaxis. There is a venous drainage present anteriorly, which is called as Woodruff's plexus. Any bleeding will cause posterior. So Woodruff's plexus में generally problem होगा, that will cause posterior epistaxis, and if there is problem in Kisselbach's plexus or little area, it will cause anterior epistaxis. Anterior epistaxis very important. What is the location of bulla ethmoidalis? मैंने बता दिया bulla ethmoidalis is largest anterior ethmoidal hair cell and it is present in the middle meatus. Identify the prominent sinus in the image. This prominent sinus, this is nothing but maxillary sinus. This is ethmoid sinus. This is nasal septum बीच वाला. So हमसे क्या पूछ रहा है यहाँ पे, और ये sinus कौन सा है, आगे है frontal. So this is frontal sinus. So this is prominent sinus in the image is maxillary sinus. ये यहाँ पे पूछ रहा है. So this is maxillary sinus. What is the correct for the structure of the nose? Correct for structure of nose, upper 1/3 bone and lower 2/3 is the cartilage. Look, I'll tell you a little bit about the anatomy of the external nose. Anatomy of the external, look, this is nasal bone, this is upper lateral cartilage and this is lower lateral cartilage, है ना, और ये बीच वाला nasal septum. So यहाँ पे देखो, it is divided into two parts, upper 1/3 and lower 2/3. Upper 1/3, ये देखो upper 1/3 and lower 2/3. This is lower 2/3, है ना, lower 2/3. So here upper 1/3 it comprises of two paired bones and one unpaired bone and two paired bones. The next is upper 1/3 में nasal bone है, that is paired bone, and the ascending process of the maxilla is the paired bone, frontal bone from the above. जो frontal bone है वो above से आएगा. Lower 2/3 it comprises three paired cartilages and one unpaired cartilages. Upper lateral cartilage, lower lateral cartilage, sesamoid cartilage, septal cartilage. It is unpaired. Septal cartilage is the unpaired and supports the dorsum of the nose, whereas it is also known as the quadrangular cartilage. Quadrangular cartilage किसको बोलते हैं? Septal cartilage को. You must remember this. So upper 1/3 is bone and lower 2/3 is generally cartilage. Ear में उल्टा था, है कि नहीं? ईयर में बाहर का 1/3 was cartilage and inner 2/3 was bone. So next is यहाँ 116 में थे हम. So now next is the disease of nose, paranasal sinuses and nasopharynx. Okay, so the first question they are asking, all of the following are preferred initial management for a patient presenting with cerebrospinal fluid CSF rhinorrhea except CSF rhinorrhea. So CSF rhinorrhea से nose में बहुत सारे question बनते हैं. So let us see what is CSF rhinorrhea. Look, in your notes also it is given as marked as important. So CSF rhinorrhea, cause will be trauma, accidental or surgical trauma may be there. Inflammations like fungal sinusitis and osteomyelitis, neoplasms, congenital and idiopathic causes can be there for CSF rhinorrhea. Unilateral clear watery discharge on head bending, straining, which cannot be sniffed back, that is a sniff test positive will be there and sweet test will also be found here. Next, reservoir sign will be seen in CSF rhinorrhea, that is fluid which had collected in the sinuses during supine position, particularly sphenoid, empties into the nose and gushes out when neck is flexed. This is reservoir sign. Double ring sign और target sign और halo sign will be seen. ये बहुत ज़्यादा पूछे जाती है, ठीक है. So double ring sign, target sign or halo sign, central red spot blood with peripheral halo CSF seen in the cases of trauma. And handkerchief test, that is CSF cannot be stiffened, mucus will stiffen handkerchief पे. Handkerchief पे अगर म्यूकस रखेंगे तो थोड़ी देर के बाद क्या हो जाता है, टाइट हो जाता है, बट जनरली CSF will not be tightened. Beta 2 transferrin seen on lab testing. High glucose levels in nasal discharge also suggests CSF rhinorrhea. Localizing test will be fluorescein injected intrathecally into CSF and nasal endoscopy. Green color of the fluorescein is seen. HRCT पे to visualize the defect and CT cysternography contrast used for generally, और MRI भी यूज कर सकते हैं. Treatment, bed rest, elevating the head of the bed, है ना, stool softeners and avoid of nose blowing, sneezing and straining. Surgical repair through endoscopic or external route is done if medically not resolved. So this is generally immediate surgical repair without initial medical management in case of generally not preferred. क्या है? All of the following are preferred initial management for a patient presenting with cerebrospinal fluid rhinorrhea except immediate surgical. No, will not go with immediate surgical. Surgical is only required when it does not resolve with the medical management and all other techniques. So bed rest with head elevation, yes. Antibiotic therapy with acetazolamide. Of course, you can use steroid plus functional endoscopic. Sinus surgery can also be used. Immediate surgical repair is not required. A 22-year-old male with recurrent bleeding presents with signs Swanson CECT. What is the cause of the bleeding here? So look, दे आर शोइंग दिस साइन, है ना, ये जो यहाँ पे दिखा रहा है, दिस इज नथिंग बट एंटेरियर बोइंग ऑफ द मैग्जिला एंड पोस्टेरियर बोइंग ऑफ द टेरिगोइड्स, posterior bowing of the pterygoids because of the tumor spread, due to the tumor spread, that is Holman Miller sign. This is Holman Miller sign seen in juvenile nasopharyngeal angiofibroma. Juvenile generally nasopharyngeal angiofibroma, and यहाँ पे tumor vessel lacks the contractility. Here the main problem here is that the tumor vessel generally lacks the contractility, so this is the cause of the bleeding. Here tumor vessels lack contractility. A neonate was brought with difficulty in breathing. His symptoms improved with crying. In which disease symptoms improve with crying? Symptoms are improving with crying. This is generally case of choanal atresia. choanal atresia, baby cries, है ना, baby cries out of irritability, जब उसको सांस लेने में नहीं होता तो he will cry, and due to this crying he will not be able to take breath, and that's why there will be opening of the mouth, और mouth से वो generally क्या कर सकता है, now from mouth he can generally babies they cannot respirate, they cannot breathe through mouth, है ना, they cannot take breath through mouth, क्योंकि वो trained नहीं होते माउथ से ब्रेथ करने के लिए. बट ड्यू टू दिस कोएनल एट्रेसिया जब होता है तो बेबी को क्या होता है कि जनरली ही विल क्राई बिकॉज ऑफ इरिटेबिलिटी ड्यू टू नॉट एबल, क्योंकि कोएनल एट्रेसिया है तो ब्रेथ नहीं कर पाएगा, एज अ रिजल्ट ही विल स्टार्ट क्राइंग, और जब वो क्राई करेगा तो उसके मुख जो है जनरली मुंह खुलेंगे, और मुंह खुलेंगे तो वहां से वो जनरली क्या होगा, इनडायरेक्टली एयर लेना शुरू कर देगा, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट ओनली कि जब वो क्राई करेगा तो एयर लेना उसको ईजी हो जाएगा, एंड दैट्स व्हाई द बेबी विल नाउ स्टॉप क्राइंग. सो क्राइंग improves the generally breathing in case of choanal atresia. A 54-year-old male presented with nasal obstruction. 54-year-old male है presented with nasal obstruction. On examination there is irregular mass inside the nose. Irregular mass inside the nose. The possible cause is this is enterochoanal polyp. Why not Tornwood cyst? Because Tornwood cyst arises from the notochordal remnants located in the midline of nasopharynx, not nasal cavity. Hypertrophic rhinitis, again it can cause obstruction but not a distinct irregular mass will be there. Rhinolith calcified mass around a nidus in the nasal cavity, hard and stony, not always irregular. It is not always, that's why they are not the answer. Enterochoanal polyp is the answer here. A 16-year-old male presented with recurrent profuse bleeding from the nose. What would be the best treatment in this patient? Recurrent profuse bleeding from the nose. Diagnosis is nasopharyngeal angiofibroma. 16-year-old male has, so this is nasopharyngeal angiofibroma, and this for this the surgical excision is the best answer. A 35-year-old female took tablet of aspirin for her headache. Later she presented with wheezing and breathlessness, most likely associated condition. So generally, this is giving us a triad. This is giving us knowledge about a triad, that is Samter's triad. Samter's triad में क्या होगा? Asthma, nasal polyposis, and aspirin and hypersensitivity. Look, aspirin hypersensitivity. So this is generally a case of nasal polyp in which Samter triad, that is asthma, nasal polyposis, and aspirin hypersensitivity will be there. Look, the next is the patient presents with complaints of unilateral nasal obstruction associated with watery nasal discharge or nasal bleeding, and the diagnosis of inverted papilloma is made, which is true regarding the following conditions. So inverted papilloma का diagnosis बन चुका है, हमको सिर्फ यहाँ से true निकालना है. Malignant है, benign and non-invasive है, benign and locally aggressive, and malignant and non-aggressive. क्या हो सकता है? So look, inverted papilloma. If we talk about the inverted papilloma, it is also called Ringer's tumor और Cnidarian papilloma, transitional cell papilloma, और इसको most common benign tumor of the nasal cavity is the most common benign tumor of the nasal cavity. In this, the papilla grows towards the stroma instead of the surface. That's why it is called as inverted papilloma. It is locally invasive. Prevalence is 4th to 7th decade. Most commonly in males. It is associated with HPV infections. It rises from the lateral wall of the nose. It is pre-malignant, 10 to 15% chance of malignancy. It also has a high recurrence rate, and it is a reddish pink mass with finger-like projections. Treatments के लिए हम क्या कर सकते हैं? Lateral rhinotomy, mid-facial degloving approach is used, and endoscopic medial maxillectomy can also be done. Let me see कि मेरा वीडियो चल रहा है कि नहीं चल रहा है, नहीं तो फिर प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. है, चल रहा है. ओके, सो माई मोबाइल इज स्टिल रिकॉर्डिंग. समटाइम्स क्या होता है कि रिकॉर्डिंग करते करते वो बंद हो जाता है ना. दिस इज अ बिग प्रॉब्लम. A 65-year-old diabetic patient with history of COVID-19 infection few months back presented in OPD with destruction of the nasal portion of the face. Which of the following? Nasal portion of the face, और वहाँ पे अगर ब्लैक स्कार भी लिख दिया होता तो काम ही खत्म हो जाता. सो ब्लैक स्कार तो दिया नहीं हुआ, बट कोविड पोस्ट कोविड इन्फेक्शन और नेजल portion of the face पे destruction, so this is diagnosis is going towards mucormycosis, that is generally black turbinate भी जिसको हम बोलते हैं black turbinate sign on X-ray. So this is, इसके लिए हम क्या ट्रीटमेंट यूज करेंगे, liposomal amphotericin B, which is the drug of choice in this condition. Which fungal infection is most commonly, I have already talked about all this in pharmacology, बहुत डिटेल में फार्माकोलॉजी मैंने कंप्लीट करवाया, आप लोगों ने अगर नहीं देखा तो जाके आप देख सकते हो. Which fungal infection is most commonly seen in maxillary sinus? Maxillary sinus में the most common fungal infection is aspergilloma. Aspergilloma. Mucormycosis तो it is caused by mucor और rhizopus, जो हमने अभी ऊपर देखा था, that is इन्वेजिव एस्परजिलोसिस क्या हो जाएगा, इट इज कॉज्ड मोस्ट कॉमन बाय एस्परगिलस फ्यूमिगेटस इन मैक्सिलरी साइनस, मे इन्वेड द ऑर्बिट बाय डिस्ट्रक्टिंग द बोन्स एंड कैन कॉज प्रोप्टोसिस. सो दिस इज generally invasive aspergilloma. So which fungal infection is most commonly seen in maxillary sinus? That is aspergilloma. A post covid patient presented with black discharge, बहुत important, post covid black discharge from the nasal cavity on examination, a black nasal mass extending onto orbit तक जा रहा है, this is generally कुछ नहीं, this is mucormycosis, 100% mucormycosis. Cause is mucor or rhizopus, invades very rapidly to surrounding tissue and even into the orbit and cranium. Black scars are formed. Treatment is amphotericin B, which is the drug of choice. Surgical debridement, functional endoscopic sinus surgery can also be used for this condition, but drug of choice will be generally amphotericin B. Steroid करके दे देता है, but don't go with steroids here. Which of the following X-ray views is shown in the image? ये देखो X-ray view दिखा रहा है. So this is generally Caldwell's view for generally ये frontal sinus के view के लिए ये सामने में X-ray film पे इसको आगे टच कराएगा. So this is Caldwell's view. Identify the structure marked with arrow in the given X-ray of the paranasal sinus. ये देखो ये पूछ रहा है, ये क्या है? This is nothing but generally a maxillary sinus. So this is, ये कौन सा व्यू, देखो माउथ ओपन है, सो दिस माउथ इज ओपन, दैट इज वाटर्स व्यू का ऑक्सीपिटोमेंटल व्यू और मॉडिफाइड वाटर व्यू भी इसको बोलते हैं. सो दिस इज माउथ ओपन होता है. A 5-year-old male presented with recurrent sinusitis. Surgical intervention is advised for this patient. Which of the following is gold standard investigation before endoscopic surgery, like functional endoscopic sinus surgery? So before that we can use a CT scan. It will tell us about the extent of the disease, predisposing structural abnormality, amount of destruction of bony wall and extension to orbit and cranial cavity. सब के बारे में CT scan हमको बता देगा. And general investigation of choice for sinusitis is CT scan. आगे चलिए देखते हैं. और 35-year-old male came to OPD in April 2020 with symptoms of cold and cough associated with loss of smell. Cold and cough, symptoms of cold and cough, viral with loss of smell, anosmia and test. Next step, this is nothing but COVID-19. ठीक है, so COVID-19. So we'll go with nasopharyngeal swab for SARS-CoV-2 testing. RT-PCR करवा लेंगे. A boy fell down while playing and the nose is deviated but septum was normal. Next step in management is lower the edema, then close reduction after 7 days. Look, management for this case will be immediate nasal packing if epistaxis is present, otherwise not. Immediate incision and drainage if hematoma is found. Immediate reduction by the S forceps if septal fracture and Walsham forceps if nasal bone fracture. If grossly displaced fracture occurs, sometimes edema can be present, making it difficult to reduce. So wait for 7 to 10 days and then do reduction. Very important line. Sometimes edema can be present, making it difficult to reduce. So wait for 7 to 10 days and then do the reduction. If delayed for more than 2 to 3 weeks, callus formation and bone remodeling occurs, which makes reduction difficult. If delayed for more than 3 months, open septorhinoplasty needs to be done. So that's why septorhinoplasty is done after 2 to 3 months. ठीक है, 2 to 3 months अगर नहीं हुआ उसके बाद. सो हेयर लोअर द इडीमा एंड देन क्लोज रिडक्शन. ठीक है, क्योंकि इडीमा रहेगा तो वो रिडक्शन करने में जनरली हमको दिक्कत करेगा ड्यू टू स्वेलिंग. सिफिलिस अफेक्ट्स व्हिच पार्ट ऑफ द nasal septum? So look, this congenital syphilis, that is early 3 weeks to 3 months में purulent nasal discharge होगा, snuffles will be present. Late में there will be gummatous lesion. Late congenital syphilis presents with the gummatous lesions. Gammas will be there. Treatment: gentle suction and irrigation, nasal toilet to remove crust, yellow mercuric oxide ointment and benzathine penicillin can be used. Acquired syphilis के केस में primary canker of the septum or vestibule will be there. Secondary में there will be thick discharge and nasal irritation, vestibular fissures will be there. And tertiary में classic saddle nose deformity, that is gamma causing septal perforation, that is destroys both bony and cartilaginous parts. So generally syphilis affects which part of the nasal septum? That is bony part of the generally nasal septum. ठीक है, bony part of the nasal septum. Both bony and cartilaginous होता है, पर cartilaginous दिया नहीं है, so we'll go with bony है. Most common presentation of nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Most common presentation of nasopharyngeal carcinoma here will be neck lymph node enlargement. Nasopharyngeal carcinoma will present with neck lymph node enlargement, that is cervical lymphadenopathy. Look, nasopharyngeal carcinoma में hereditary causes will be hereditary. Southeast Asian country like China, Indonesia, Taiwan, nitrosamine intake, that is salted fish intake, and EBV infections are the causes for nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Most common site will be fossa of Rassenholler. Most common age will be 15 to 25 years, 55 to 65 years bimodal ages, है ना. Presentation will be painless cervical lymphadenopathy, nasal obstruction, rhinolalia clausa, unilateral hearing, loss of conducting type due to serous otitis media caused by ET obstruction, extension to obstruction. If extension of the tumor occurs into orbit, then it can cause diplopia, ophthalmoplegia, exophthalmos blindness, and other generally eye-related symptoms. If it extends into cranium, then first 6 nerves is involved, thereafter 3, 4, and 5 cranial nerves are involved. If laterally extends into parapharyngeal space, 9, 10, and 11 cranial nerves get involved. Trotter striate जो हमने पढ़ा था ऊपर, trotter striate, palatal palsy due to 10th nerve, ipsilateral neuralgia 5th nerve के कारण, and conductive hearing loss will be there. Treatment will be radiotherapy for stage 1 and chemoradiation from stage 2 onwards. This is nasopharyngeal carcinoma. So neck lymph node enlargement is generally the most common presentation of nasopharyngeal carcinoma. A patient with RTA presented with watery nasal discharge as shown in the image when checked open handkerchief. ये देखो एक इनर वाला, ओके लेट मी चेंज इट, कलर रेड हो गया, ओके एक देखो ये इनर रिंग और एक ये आउटर रिंग. सो दिस इज नथिंग बट टारगेट साइन. सो दिस इज डायग्नोसिस इज CSF rhinorrhea due to cribriform plate fracture, road traffic accident. Shows double target sign when collected on a piece of the filter paper. Central red spot, ये देखो central red spot, and periphery will be lighter halo is there, double target or halo sign. ठीक है, this is generally double target or halo sign. Brown sign is seen in case of pulsation sign, that is in case of glomus tumor, and other we have already completed. Investigation used for CSF rhinorrhea are all except, है ना, सारी चीजें यूज होती है जनरली CSF rhinorrhea में एक्सेप्ट सिस्टर्नोग्राम, स्कॉल एक्सरे ऑफ कोर्स डन, बीटा 2 ट्रांसपेरेंट, दैट इज लैब टेस्टिंग, हमने ऊपर ही पढ़ा था. नेजल इंडोस्कोपी इज नॉट डन हियर इन केस ऑफ जनरली CSF rhinorrhea. Look, this CT cysternogram, it is intrathecal injection of iohexol and a CT scan to localize the site in cases when beta 2 transferring can't be done. ठीक है. Look next, the given image shows recent pattern question in 2019-2020 में पूछा गया, that is ये देखो, ओके ये देख लो आप, ये पूरा ये देखो, दिस इज नथिंग बट राइनोफाइमा. डोंट बी कंफ्यूज विथ राइनोस्पोरियोडियोसिस. दिस इज नॉट राइनोस्पोरियोडियोसिस, दिस इज राइनोफाइमा. ये ऊपर वाला आप CSF राइनोरिया एक बार यहाँ से देख लेना. ठीक है, डबल रिंग, टारगेट साइन, हेलो साइन, एंड कर्चिफ टेस्ट, बीटा 2 ट्रांसफेरिंग, जो कि लैब टेस्टिंग में देखी जाती है. सो दिस इज जनरली राइनोफाइमा, और इट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज पोटैटो ट्यूमर ड्यू टू हाइपरट्रॉफी ऑफ द सीबेसियस ग्लैंड. देख रहे हो ना यहाँ पे, hypertrophy of sebaceous glands हो रखा है, ये पूरा hypertrophy of sebaceous gland seen in long standing cases of acne rosacea, and treatment will be laser or cold steel excision followed by skin grafting. So this is generally the case of rhinophaima. Rhinosporidiosis में there will be leafy polypoidal mass, pink to purple strawberry, and it will be bleeding on the touch. Clinical feature, blood tinged nasal discharge and stuffiness will be there seen in rhinosporidiosis. Rhinolith के cases में stone in nasal cavity, calcium and magnesium deposit around the foreign body. Next देखो, rhinoscleroma, cause will be Klebsiella rhinoscleromatosis. Scleromatous stages will be atrophic stage where there will be purulent discharge and crusting, granulomatous stage where there will be painless nodule, woody nose or hebra nose, very important, woody nose or hebra nose, that will be seen in rhinoscleroma. And cicatricial, that is fibrosis, adhesion and stenosis will be there, and that will be called as tapir nose. So tapir nose and woody nose or hebra nose, that will be generally seen in rhinoscleroma. Which of the following is preferred in management of generally atrophic rhinitis? Atrophic rhinitis के लिए Young's operation we have already done about this. The surgical operations that were available in atrophic rhinitis were Young operation, that is nostrils completely closed by suturing skin flaps on both sides and open after 6 months. Modified Young's operation में partially closed, that is वहाँ पे क्या कर रहा था, complete close, यहाँ पे partial close, that is 3 mm gap is kept. Lauten-Slager's operations में generally narrowing the lumen by submucosal Teflon injection or insertion of the fat, cartilage, bone, Teflon strips submucosally, or medial displacement of the lateral wall will be done in Lauten-Slager's operation. Next देखो लेट्स डू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। द मैन्यूवर इन द इमेज, सो ये देखो यहाँ पे ये क्या कर रहा है, पिच कर रहा है। सो दिस इज नथिंग बट ऑन पुलिंग द चिक अवे, ऑन पुलिंग द चिक अवे from midline, nasal valve opens, increasing the airflow from that side of the nasal cavity. As a result, it is used for testing nasal obstruction due to abnormality of the nasal valve. Positive test shows abnormality of the vestibular component of the nasal valve, and this is called as Cottel's test. This is Cottel's test. So this is Cottel's test. Helmicks maneuver, it is done for laryngeal foreign body. Generally, Epley's maneuver will be done for the treatment of the BPPV, and Dix-Hallpike maneuver will be done for generally the diagnosis. आगे देखो, ऑफिस हेडेक इज ड्यू टू द इन्फ्लामेशन ऑफ विच साइनस। ऑफिस हेडेक मीन्स बिकॉज इट इज प्रेजेंट ड्यूरिंग द ऑफिस आवर्स, सो फ्रंटल साइनस के कारण से जनरली होगा। मैक्सिमम हेडेक इन द मॉर्निंग एंड सबसाइड्स बाय द इवनिंग, और ऑफिस हम कब जाते हैं 8 to 10 o'clock, दैट इज मॉर्निंग टाइम। पेन ओवर मीडियल कैंथस एंड फ्रंटल एरिया। इथमोइडल में जनरली क्या हो जाएगा, इन्फ्लामेशन ऑफ इथमोइडल साइनस विल लीड टू common in, it is generally common in children, and there will be pain over the root of the nose and deep to eye. Maxillary sinus, maxillary sinusitis में most common sinusitis in adults, and pain over the upper jaw will be seen. Sphenoid में generally least common, and pain in occipital area or vertex can be seen. आगे देखो, द मोस्ट प्रोमिनेंट एंड लार्ज एयर सेल ऑफ इथमोइडल साइनस इज नथिंग बट बुला इथमोइडालिस, वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड अबाउट दिस। इट इज द लार्जेस्ट एंटीरियर इथमोइडल सेल। हैलर सेल इज रिलेटेड टू द ऑर्बिटल फ्लोर एंड बिलोंग टू पोस्टीरियर इथमोइड। नेक्स्ट लुक, Agarnessi cell. This Agarnessi cell is a type of anterior ethmoidal cell. Unodi cell is related to optic and belong to the posterior ethmoidal group. Next look, a 15-year-old boy presents with recurrent episodes of the epistaxis, unilateral obstruction of the nostril, most likely called unilateral obstruction of the nostrils and epistaxis. This is going towards angiofibroma. Unilateral nasal obstruction, and the next is epistaxis. This is going towards angiofibroma. It is the benign vascular tumor of the nasopharyngeal area, most common pharyngeal tumor of adolescent male, mostly in second decade. It is thought to be the testosterone dependent tumor. Most common site is sphenopalatine foramen. Most common clinical feature will be recurrent epistaxis, जो कि यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है, progressive nasal obstruction, दो चीजें. So this is going towards angiofibroma. Unilateral nasal obstruction, which is progressive, and recurrent episodes of epistaxis. This is going towards angiofibroma. A male trauma patient was admitted to hospital with watery discharge from the nose. Watery discharge, CSF rhinorrhea में जा रहा है. So this is CSF rhinorrhea. Young suppression is done in case of atrophic rhinitis. अभी हमने किया था. Direct branch of internal carotid artery in Kieselbach's plexus. ऊपर ही हमने जब नोट शुरू किया था, we had done, that is anterior ethmoidal artery. Which of the following is best to prevent rhinitis medicamentosa, that is nasal drop withdrawal? Look, rhinitis medicamentosa, generally the cause will be prolonged use of the nasal decongestants, that is oxymetazoline and xylometazoline like drugs. Alpha adrenergic receptor downregulates because of the excessive or prolonged use of this nasal decongestants, and this will generally force the patient to increase the dose, but this further increase will cause still more downregulation, and still the patient will try to increase the dose for him to get relief from the obstruction. So this is generally rhinitis medicamentosa due to the drug caused, generally excessive use of the nasal decongestant. So treatment will be, the first treatment, stop the drug. Second treatment is systemic or local steroid for short duration. Which is the most common cancer of paranasal sinus? That is nothing but squamous cell carcinoma. Look, most common sinus associated with carcinoma is maxillary sinus, and most common sinus carcinoma in furniture worker is adenocarcinoma. ये याद रखना है. Enterocoinal polyp opens into which meatus? This generally opens into middle meatus. It is most common in children and arises from the mucosa of maxillary antrum, that is middle meatus, जो open होता है middle meatus में. What is the likely source of infection for pus from the sphenoethmoidal recess? Pus from the sphenoethmoidal recess is sphenoid sinus. Sphenoethmoidal recess, it is situated above superior terminate. Sphenoid sinus opens into it, so that's why sphenoid sinus will be answer. 144 नंबर में जो हमने Kieselbach's plexus और arteries of plexus जो हमने किया था. Look, Kieselbach plexus, arterial plexus present at the anterior inferior part of the septum, just above the generally vestibule, and the area is known as Little's area. और ये anterior generally में anterior epistaxis में generally this is रिस्पॉन्सिबल. पोस्टेरियर के लिए Woodruff's plexus याद रखना है. आर्टरीज ऑफ दिस Kieselbach's plexus is sphenopalatine, और दिस इज द ब्रांच ऑफ जनरली मैक्सिलरी आर्टरी, एंड दैट इज द ब्रांच ऑफ एक्सटर्नल कैरोटिड आर्टरी. एक्सटर्नल कैरोटिड आर्टरी से मैक्सिलरी और उससे स्फीनोपेलेटाइन. ये देखो, ये आर्टरी जो करके ऑलरेडी मैंने करवा चुका है. दैट इज, यू हैव टू जस्ट सी इट वंस. आगे चलिए, 5 मिनट और करते हैं, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट. Kieselbach's plexus does not involve PEA, posterior ethmoidal artery. Esthesioneuroblastoma arises from olfactory epithelium. All of the following paranasal sinuses are present at birth except at birth पे sphenoid sinus नहीं होता है. Frontal sinus appears on X-ray at 6 years and sphenoid at 4 years. Sphenoid appears at 4 years. So next is sinus absent at the birth. Sinus which is absent at birth is frontal sinus. ये गलत है. Frontal sinus, ethmoidal sinus is present at birth. Maxillary sinus, first sinus to develop in embryo, and frontal sinus is the last sinus to develop, absent at the birth and starts developing post-natally. आगे देखो, radiological evidence of frontal sinus can be seen at 6 years. Sphenoid sinus reaches adult size at 15 years. Ethmoid sinus reaches adult size at 12 years. आगे देखो, largest sinus is maxillary, maximum maxillary sinus, largest याद. Caldwell Lux operation is done for generally maxillary sinusitis. ठीक है, maxillary sinusitis. Mikulicz and Russell body upon biopsy is seen in generally rhinoscleroma. Mikulicz and Russell body, याद रखना, Russell body rhinoscleroma में. Rhinophyma is associated with the following. This is hypertrophy of the sebaceous gland. हमने पिक्चर भी देखा और किया भी उसका क्वेश्चन. Cause of rhinosporidiosis is protozoa. ठीक है, cause of rhinosporidiosis, this question has been asked in so many examination. It was thought to be generally fungal, but now it is commonly it is clear that the rhinosporidiosis is caused by Seabury protozoa. ठीक है. A patient presents to you with big nasal cavity, thick crust formation, and woody hard external nose. Look, woody hard external nose. This is going towards rhinoscleroma. ठीक है, rhinoscleroma. What is the probable diagnosis? That is woody nose, that is, or Heparin nose, that is in the case of rhinoscleroma. Woody induration of rhinoscleroma is initially seen at which stage? It is seen as granulomatous stage. So we had done up to the nose के जितने digits भी थे, और उसके generally all the what to say, anatomy part has also been covered. In the next topic we will be doing about the throat and pharynx, and then one more will be left, that is generally larynx, और उसके बाद खत्म कहानी. So generally 200-250 क्वेश्चन, मतलब नेक्स्ट एक और मैं करवाऊंगा, उसमें खत्म करवा दूंगा. इसमें 200-250 क्वेश्चन है, 240 क्वेश्चन जितने होंगे आई थिंक, है ना. सो आई नीड 2 more videos for this. I'll make 2 more videos and it will be done. ठीक है. So 2 more videos is required. Today we have done up to 162 number. Next में जो बाकी रहेगा वो करवा दूंगा. This much for this video. Thank you so much. Keep watching and keep sharing with your friends also. Thank you.